joined by the victorious Link and Afremu from CLG. Gentlemen, congratulations on the win, shutting down Coast win streak there. A lot of streaks are being started today. Link, let's start with you. The transition back to the mid lane. How's it been? Things have been seeming to go well.
The transition back to mid lane, there really wasn't a transition because all the while I was playing jungle, I was playing mid in solo queue. We actually played mid in a couple of scrims, and while Hotshot was playing jungle, so I'm pretty comfortable in the mid lane, and there really hasn't been like a difference. And well, I guess you can say it feels good to be back home.
Yeah, you guys have definitely had immediate success since you got back there. You actually had some nice synergy there between the Orianna and the Alistar. Normally it's the Afremu double of synergy, but this is the Link Afro. Talk about the Alistar pick.
The Alistar pick, they banned out Thresh, which was unexpected. That was one of our bans for Thresh.
Yeah.
And then so we countered it with Annie because they played Leona yesterday versus TSM, and they valued that over Annie. So we were like, okay, we want them to pick Leona, and we've been practicing Alistar Vayne lane a while since the start of LCS, and we've always wanted to play it, and we finally got to play it, and I was so excited to play Alistar, and we got to pick it into a Leona lane. And in the lane, you can throw Leona into the tower every single time, which is we did that 2 times, but unfortunately she didn't die. Well, that's what we were going for.
And Link, your pick of Orianna to LeBlanc, that seems like a hard matchup for Orianna. What do you consider when you go into that matchup? And is it even a hard matchup for Ori?
It is a hard matchup because you really can't walk up because you might just die randomly to like a gank. So that whole time they had complete control over mid, which is kind of my fault because I needed to use Dexter a little bit better. But Dexter was preoccupied top lane, obviously, and you know they got a lot out of it at top, but they could have gotten more out of it. But that's what we're working on right now is me and Dexter synergy and Dexter and Nian synergy. And right now, primarily in the last week, they've been focused on the Dexter Nian synergy. So you can kind of see like they've been doing pretty well in terms of ganking top. And in mid lane right there, I was pretty much just a placeholder while my team would just carry me. And you know I don't really like that role, and I'm trying to get out of it. But hey, if I had to do that game, it works for me.
Place held well.
This last game seemed like it was going to be a bit of a throwback with the Orianna and the Vayne from CLG. Oh, they're just protect double lift. But that wasn't necessarily the case. Do you want to maybe talk about how your team has transitioned or grown since last summer split to now?
It's kind of funny because everybody always wants to like kill double lift because they see him as like the only threat. But if you really think about it, there's like a really farmed Renekton, there's a farmed Orianna, and you know Elise as her own can pretty much insta-give any of the squishies. So when they initiated on double in the last team fight, you know, I just threw a shield on her and then double lived, and then afterwards we just wreaked havoc because they just used all their cooldowns. Yeah,
and we actually have a clip of one of the Baron fights where you guys picked up a clean double kill. And Afremu, I want you to kind of talk me through this. As the Alistar, you're looking for a lot of initiations. So let's get that clip up on the screen, and we can see how, you know, talk me through what happened.
So we're going to do Baron here, and I said we should do Baron and then turn when they come in. So my job is to stop the carries from coming in, which is LeBlanc and Caitlyn, and I got a pull on both of them and exhausted LeBlanc while my team killed the front line right there. And we just cleaned up pretty easy.
Yeah, just a really crisp, clean fight. Alistar with his incredible zoning potential. Talk to me a bit more about Alistar. You've been waiting for it the entire split.
Alistar is really fun in lane, but not fun when you play against everybody else except Leona, because everyone can poke you in your melee, and Alistar's early game is probably one of the worst supports early game to play. So having Alistar in Leona lane, you can get past the early game because you pull over Zenith Blade and she can't do anything. And then you transition into mid game where you just stop carries and you have your ultimate to protect you against their damage.
Awesome.
A lot of the early game comes from the jungler, and Dexter has been a huge point of impact for you guys coming since he's been here. You guys have just been winning. Were you guys able to scrim with him when he wasn't on the team and he was still in Europe? Because it seems like you guys have just always been together.
No, we've had 0 practice with him until he recently came over. So we're pretty much like we're like 3 weeks old, 4 weeks old, pretty much. Ever since Battle of Atlantic. So we're just getting back in the groove, and it's working out pretty well.
Yeah, now that you're kind of back in the groove, this is kind of the halfway point of the split. 14 games in, you guys are 8-6. What's the next half going to be like? Because the first half was filled with difficulties.
I expect the next half to be a lot better for CLG in general, just because we have a stable roster, thankfully. And I look forward to being top 2 the split, since everyone on the team has definitely shown that they're dedicated and they put in all the time needed to work. You see people up at 2 a.m. playing solo queue, etc. So it's really good.
All right, guys, you have Curse and XDG this next week. Either of you want to take it. What's the preparation going to be like for these teams?
We're going to prepare like we usually do, like we did this week and last week, and we're going to take them on and go 2-0.
All right.
Right on. Well, congratulations on the win. Best of luck on the 2-0 coming up on next week.
Thanks.
All right, everyone, we're going to toss it back to Freak and Kobe. We got more games.